because everything had changed and we just have miss out on stuff. I will be at work just looking at our photos. It's a transition period. It's been a year. So, yeah. Look, I've been trying to make this video for about 3 months now since I hit a year as a working mom, but I don't know it. The words I don't know if I say, I don't know if I put it together, and the time too. You see, because once you stop record, it's kind of hard to go. It's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to go back to it. It's like when your work goes and you stop, kind of hard to go back to it. So, let's begin this video. I might be rambling, might cut this out, I don't know. But today I decided I'm going to pick this camera up before I go to work, and we're going to just get the words out, and whatever I put out, I put out. So I think some of you are here from before when I used to go live, and then the others are from my short video that I made the time. I'm going to put it right here, that video. And since then I just disappeared because I've just been working, and just haven't had the time, or I wouldn't say haven't had the time because time come up, but I would just be so like, I don't want to do nothing, I want to just relax and prepare to go back to work. So a lot has changed since then. I did take notes because I wanted to make this straight to the point, and then I have to leave and get ready and go work as per usual. So where I've been, work. I went from being a stay-at-home mom to a working mom. So life got busier, things got changed. My schedule, my like a soft life schedule that I used to have, I don't have it no more. And then at the beginning, I feel like when we start work, it was like I took off running, and then I slowed down, and then it just kept. And then I went from a new employee to an important employee because I was good at what I did at the time, and they liked me there, so I was there all the time. So now I was like, busy doing all of that, and then also trying to balance home life in the middle of it. There are days when things feel like everything is moving so fast. It also feels like you're missing out on stuff. It just feels there's a lot going on. There's not enough time in the day, especially when you're working, right? Because most of the time you're at work, and then kids are in school, you're at work, but then when they get home, I'm also at work. So that first few months that I was working, it was a transition period for me, and it was a lot of getting used to, a lot of emotional ups and downs, because part of me was like, yes, I have a job, I'm out of the house. I was glad to be out of the house. I don't want to be in the house anymore. I don't want to work in the house anymore. Well, at that time, I don't know if I'll work. I probably won't. But yes, I was out of the house, ecstatic about that. I was glad. Then the next part of me is like, I was out of the house when the kids aren't home, but now I'm out of the house when they are home. So that's kind of different for me as well. And I forgot to point out, yes, a lot has changed, including this. This is something different that I decided to do. I don't know, I just wanted a new look. And anyways. But, so I was out of the house now. The kids were home when I was out of the house. There's a lot of things that I try to do with my schedule, and I would try to come home on my lunch break to eat dinner with them, so I didn't miss that. And that's going to lead me into going into our next part, something else that happened. But yeah, so I would try different things to make sure, even if I'm not there 100%, eat some dinner, because we always eat dinner together, sit down on the table, them little things there. So I was like, all right, I'll go work on that way. I'll make sure so we'll work for somebody can come home and eat. It was. Might sound like me a ramble, but I'm just trying to get everything out. I'm trying to talk, and I want to get back to this. Not only let me like it, and also I need this to get to a point where it's a second income as well. Because even though I'm working now, I see the beauty of also having additional income. So yes, me I go work, have big up the job, big up stability. Always I'll have that, but there's nothing wrong with having something else. So that's why I'm like, all right, well, I'll pick up back this channel and make it grow. And as I mentioned, everything I move so fast. It's like school, work, everyday responsibilities. Like I come home now, and then there's it like on the weekend, it's like, okay, I'm home on the weekend now, so I'm gonna do like other house stuff that I would have to do, and then I'll be like, wait, school now wait, man, if I do this last week, oh no, man, it's been 2 weeks. So I have to catch up on a lot of that. It's a transition period. It's been a year. So yeah. And one thing I realized is how fast everything's moving. The kids are growing up faster. holidays are coming, and not to mention when you work, you don't get, depending on where you work, you don't get all holidays off. That's why I had to make some transitions to make it to the point where I was able to do that, but you don't get all holidays off. I also started school in the process, had to pause that as well, but school in the process, so everything is moving so fast. I had to do work, but when I work so much because I have a full 9 to 5. I don't work 9 to 5, but 8 hour shift each day, no matter which job I'm doing. So doing that and then trying to balance school as well, and then the kids and them something there, it never, eventually I had to like pause something and try to figure this out. But one thing I realized is that going from a stay-at-home mom to a working mom, it's like a lot of the memories that you were privy to in the beginning when you were at home, you can always get them. When you're a working mom, you don't have those same memories, and you only have them at a allotted time. You only get those memories at a certain time, at a specific time when you're home or off work, not every day, as usual, as how we would get it. And a lot of those memories that you miss out on, by the time you look, a year has passed, it's a new year again. It's like, oh my gosh, time has flown. I a lot of things I missed, or I was a part of but couldn't be, or even if I wanted to be a part of, I couldn't be a part of because I started working. I now have to put in time off to go places. That wasn't me before. I just get up and go, oh, kids are off, let's go. That's not what it is anymore. I have to be a responsible adult. Yeah, I have to be responsible. I have to be a responsible adult, put time in, use PTO, them little things there. So it different. Another thing that was different to me was the emotions that come with it. I don't think I really talked about the emotions side of it, but the emotional side of it, it was very heavy. I never really share it with a lot of people at all. I don't know if you are a stay-at-home mom that became a working mom. Let me know how the emotional side of it was for you, because the emotional side of it for me was bad, especially when I had to transition, because I don't think I made it to the point. I should have put that in this video too, where let me just put this in this video, call it a day, because I transitioned from one job to then having two jobs, to then transition, and remember, one job, two jobs, school, and then transitioning from the one job to the other job, all in the space of 1 year. So as you can see, that was a lot of transition and lots of emotions. The first job, it was emotional, but I was coming home for dinner, so it made it a bit easier on me. Still hard, sometimes I go work, I'm just down because, one day home, and then another time I'm like, I'm glad I'm out of the house, yada, yada, yada. It was mentally, it was a challenge mentally. It was a lot of, just mentally, it wasn't the best place for me. Like, it happened outside of work, but when I think about missing the kids, or just missing stuff, like more go for the weekend, more care. I can't do that because I have work. So just missing things like that was just, everything about that was emotional. And then coming home, when I come home, sometimes they're up because that was the first job. They will be up. I hope I'm not all over the place. I'm wondering if I broke this down properly. Okay, let me just keep talking because this is how it's flowing right now. Hopefully it makes sense. So I would come home, I would see them. Sometimes they'll be up, sometimes they would be asleep, but at least I had the opportunity to have dinner with them. So it's okay. I wasn't as sad, but they're alright. And I was still sad, but I made it through. Going from that to adding another job with school made everything mentally crumble. It was hard because at the other job, the times that I would get home would differ, right? In the beginning of that job, mid-shift, so I would get home a little bit earlier than the first job. Keep it with my first job, right? So I was like, it was okay, boop, 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 boop. A few days out of the week. That means that any day off I had, I would at school, the second job, and first job, or me doing with the kids. So I was busy. I did it all over the place. Like, I was getting it. So in the space of, like Mr. mentioned before, in the space of 1 year, school, two job, and then transitioning. And then after a while, having all of those after, I was like, yo, this is too much because I'm missing too much, and I'm tired, and I'm just stressed out mentally. I don't know if I did depressed, but just mentally I couldn't do it. Separation anxiety. I think that's what I was going through. So I had to come to a decision. I said, you know what? school semester got in, I'm not going to pick it up back until I choose one job. Because of how straining it was mentally on me, I ended up, trying to figure out, I ended up having to come to a conclusion that I need to do one thing at the moment. Yes, more on the school, more on job, more all kind of jobs, but I need to do one thing at the moment. And that one thing needs to be able to, so that I have more time. The time that I do have, I can spend it with the family, right? So with that thought process, I thought about it for like a good month or two, and then I came to the conclusion that, you know what, we're going to pick the job that pays me more. And in a sense, both jobs kept me there and had the same amount of flexibility in a weird way. When I think about it, they both had similar flexibility, like in their own little way. So I was like, what are we going to go with? Both jobs I had people that I work with. I was like, all right, they're decent people. They're cool, right? So I made a decision to go with the one that paid more. Of course, need the coins. So I made a decision where I can do that. And it paid me more, and I had just a little bit more flexibility than the other one. That's why I went with that one. When I went with that one, I went with that one with the intention that I would go with it once I got full-time. So I ended up getting full-time at that other job. And I was like, all right, now it's time for me to leave the first job. Once I got full-time, my schedule changed. What that looks like for me is that now I don't come home to the kids for dinner. So I don't get to eat dinner with them anymore. I think that first week of me transitioning to that was very hard. It was very emotional. It was a very emotional transition because I would come home and they would be sleeping. And I would come home and my daughter would write notes on the stairs and I miss you. My son would tell me different things. So it was very, very, very emotional. That transition was a very big one for me. I don't think I had told a lot of people, but I just dealt with it in house and kept it pushing. Like I'll come home, I'm gonna go inside and they'll be sleeping. I'll see the notes and then I'll just cry, because what choice do I have? It's not like I can't stop work my work. So, just cry about it and go on with the faith, cause my figure out is going to get better. So when I tell you that lasted for about 2-3 weeks, it was so bad that I was like, okay, something is definitely wrong. Something is definitely wrong, and because of that, I made a decision to finally get tested for PPMD, which is let's don't call her back, Shania. She's calling me. I'll call you back in a few. I didn't even think this video was going to go into all of this, but I guess it all makes sense because that was my year of work and that's what happened to me. That's what it did for me. Okay. All right. So I had to look it up because I wanted to make sure I was saying the right thing. Because I had to, let me tell you why I get it checked. Because usually, that time before your cycle, very depressed, very like, oh my gosh, I want to end it all type. Can't say that. Very depressed, very like out of it, just want to be left alone. And sometimes I have moments where it's like really, really like really bad. Like lay down on the floor, close the door, don't want to be around anybody ball type of bad. But with that, plus the transition of going from a stay-at-home mom to a working mom, and remember, I was already like 6 months, no, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 8 months into it. And then the 9th month, I became full-time at another job with a different schedule. So that transition altogether, plus just me working overall and just not coming home, because before I was able to come home and sit with them, I wasn't able to do that this time. So it was kind of that alone was kind of rough. So I was like, I had to get treated because I already have a hard time when it's cycle time. And then now this on top of it is gonna make it even worse because that's how it works. It's like whatever I'm going through during that time, it drops it like 10 times harder on me. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna get treated for that. Went ahead and got treated, tested, and of course, comedy. I already knew. I was like undiagnosed, but I already knew. I just never had a professional say, yeah. So I said it wrong the first time. It is PMDD. Premenstrual dysphoric disorder is a severe chronic form of PMS. It causes intense emotional and physical symptoms such as deep depression, extreme irritability, and anxiety that begin in the week or two before your period and typically resolved within a few days of your period starting. Right? So that's the first part. The second part, while most people experience mild physical or mood changes before menstruation, PMDD disrupts daily life, relationships, and work. To be diagnosed with PMDD, you must experience at least 5 severe symptoms, including at least one mood-related symptom in the week prior to your period, which subside as menstrual bleeding begins. Common symptoms: mood and behavior, severe irritability or anger, feelings of sadness or homelessness, mood swings, panic attacks, and trouble focusing. Everything that I had issues with. Physical: cramps, bloating, headache stuff. For me, it was, my cramps aren't usually that bad. So it's like the bloating, tenderness, joint, and muscle pain. Horrible before, like that's what I go through. All right. How did this video become into, you know what? It went right into that. Let's go. I might break it out of that. I don't know how we got here. But we're here, and it all ties into my experience from a stay-at-home mom to a working mom and what changed for me emotionally, mentally, physically. So let's continue. If you want to skip through, I'll put timestamps and you skip through. All right. So for something like that, the treatment options requires medical attention, but it's highly manageable. It is, because common treatment options include medication, hormonal birth control, lifestyle changes. So I opted for medication and lifestyle changes. Birth control, we can't bother that. So no. So exercise does help, diet does help, and stress management techniques, as it says here, that helps as well. Yes. So the type of medication is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. That's what helps with that, that disorder. And I'm gonna try it for a year. That's the goal, and see what's this. But I can confidently say it's been good so far. But I say that to say this: transitioning from a stay-at-home mom to a working mom did a lot. A lot changed. And because a lot changed, I needed new tools and resources to help me transition and to help me cope with everything that was happening, and to take care of myself. Because when I say I started working, my face started to break out because of the first job, because I was in dust and stuff. So my face started to break out. I was wearing sneakers, so literally I saw my feet, my feet change, like the big, your big toe shift. My skin, because I was neglecting a lot of stuff when we used to do. I would make my face mask, all of that stuff. No, that's the next thing. Now I don't make a lot of, I make some stuff, but some things me just go buy. I can't be bothered. Like, I can't, the little time I have, I don't want to make a lot of things. So I just go purchase it. Unless I'm home and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to spend that money and I have a big jar of shea butter, I'll make myself. But sometimes, like some face stuff, I just go purchase because I don't want to be bothered. So there was a lot of self-neglect going on. And then it wasn't until, because that was last year, this year made 1 year. This year, like I think the second month in my full-time job, I was like, no, I need to take care of me, and I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and my skin. So I started trying new stuff for my face, XYZ. That's a whole nother story. To just take care of me, I started focusing on how I look, because that's what I was doing before. But when I started working, I was like, if come out of the yard, I can't bother. But now I'm like intentional. I sat down and making a video because I kept saying I had work. And I was just more like work focused, which is okay, because I do like my job, but I need to focus on other things, because nothing in life lasts forever. Today I have a job, tomorrow I don't. So I want, I still have to fulfill that entrepreneur desire that I have inside of me. And this is my way of doing it. So now I went through all of that just to tell you that something else that was helpful for me, like I find myself at work, because everything I change and we just have miss out on stuff. I will be at work just looking at old photos. I'll look at old photos from when they were kids, not just the kids, just overall, just family. But I'll just be at work on my phone, like when I have downtime, looking at, Google sending the memories, looking at Google memories. Oh, sorry. Looking at Google memories, looking at photos, just everything memories, related. And then it made me open up that part of me that loved photos. Like I always loved photos, but now with me working and not being home is the time for me to like focus so much more on taking photos and getting back into it and all of that stuff. So that's exactly what I did. I was like, yup, I do need these memories. So as I'm speaking to you, I remember, oh, I'm about to leave for work and I forgot to put on the rice because I need to bring lunch. I'll be back. Let's go. I was like, yup, I want to get back into creating these memories, and not just memories, not only because of my work, but overall just saving memories. I have photo albums from when I was younger, and then you can see the gap at when I stopped. Because even now I still look back at some of those photos. So I want to go back to taking more pictures, printing those pictures, organizing them, storing them, just creating family memories that my family can look back from a year to come when I'm here. If I'm here, if I'm not here, they'll always have those memories and memories for me to look at from time to time as well, because I do enjoy it and it makes me happy. So especially in the time that we're in now, where everything is digital, everything is online, everything is virtual virtual meetup groups. It is important to have something that you can physically look at, something in the physical that we can look at and create memories, meaningful memories with people. So that's what I'm doing now while I'm working on everything, but I'm still like creating a lot. I have so much to share with that, creating albums and all that stuff. Like I went back to basic and I love every minute of it. And that's kind of what I want this channel to go into, creating memories. Even though I am a working mom, stay at home mom turned working mom, just showing families how they can create memories with their family, encouraging you to create more memories, to create more photos, to create more photo albums, and ways in which you can do this and different tools and things like that. I'm getting a bit too comfortable now. This video is supposed to be like 8 minutes long. Seems like it's going to be longer, but if you watch it, watch it. If you don't big up yourself. So over the next few videos, I'm going to share things like me printing photos again, cameras that I'm using for my family, for family outings, family events, hard drives, how I'm organizing my stuff and things like that. How I'm organizing my photos, how I'm organizing my family memories, how am I keeping family memories, cloud, things like them there. And just other stuff that I'm doing as a working mom as well. I'm excited to be back. It was a long time coming and it took me a while to make that video there. But by the time you've seen this, I'll have an archive of videos before I actually post videos, if that makes sense. So I won't go, yeah, get a picture. Okay, so until next time, to the next video. I already shared that. All right, so I think this is it. Until next time. I'm so cute.